Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can create this design in this listing right here. This is my Etsy listing, and this is for a personalized wedding ornament. And so these are great not only because, fourth quarter is coming up and, Christmas ornaments are going to sell big, but also just wedding stuff sells year round. And this makes for a great personalized wedding gift. And so I'm going to show you how I created this design, and I'm going to show you the platform I used and all of that. So like I said, this is my listing right now. I have it for sale for $11.99. It's totally personalizable, so they can go ahead and select, the bride and groom's name and then the wedding date there. I've got my different thumbnails here, obviously, and then I always put in, if this pops up, I always put in a review card that just kind of builds trust with the customers. So if you do have some 5-star reviews, you can go ahead and throw a review card into your listing. It's just going to help people trust your shop. And then, of course, I always go ahead and put in a branding card as well. So if this pops up, it just gives like a little thank you, and it'll give like your logo and a call to action, so requesting a review. So if they like the product, go ahead and leave you a review. So I always go ahead and throw those into my listings as well. But anyways, I'm going to show you how I do this. So for starters, the ornament itself I got from PrintKK. And so there's lots of different platforms that have ornaments. In fact, most of them do. PrintKK I like because it's one of the cheaper ones. It does have a little bit of a longer shipping time sometimes. So it's a little give and take if you'd rather spend more for faster shipping, or if you'd rather spend less but have a little bit longer shipping. And so you can kind of make those decisions yourself. But I haven't seen anything cheaper than PrintKK in terms of prices for most products. And so if I was to jump over to PrintKK right now, here I am just on their products page, and they have thousands of products, and I have a lot of their products that I have listed and sold. But I can go ahead and just type in here ornaments. Give it a second and it'll pull up some different ornaments. And so the very first one here is the one that I showed you. So it's heart shaped, but they have different ones. This one is ceramic, heart shaped. Here we've got different wood shaped ones. Here's another ceramic one in a star, snowman looking one. That's a wooden one, another wooden one. You've got some of the round ones here. They even have glass ones. So if you wanted glass, so all different styles of ornaments here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And so what we can see is it's pretty cheap. The base price for the ornament is $177, and then the shipping is about $565. And that is usually 10 to 15 day shipping, so somewhere around there typically. And so pretty cheap. So I sell it on my shop, I think, for $11.99. And then they pay the shipping, which is the $565. And so that's not too bad. That's usually about the cheapest I can find. But so this is the design. It's pretty simple. So when I went to design this, I went ahead and I used Canva. So I'm just going to jump over to Canva and get started here. So if I go over to Canva, I'm on the home page here. We're going to start with a blank template. So I'm just going to go to custom size, and we're going to start with a square. And I just usually want it to be, pretty big, either 4,000 by 4,000 or 5,000 by 5,000. It really doesn't need to be that big for a small ornament, but just to make sure everything's nice and sharp. And so this is what we're starting with. And sometimes I'll like to pull up some guidelines here too. So if you were to hit Shift and R on your keyboard, that's going to pull up your rulers and guides. If you want to know another way to do that, if you were to just go up to File, down to Settings, the very first thing that'll pop up will be rulers and guides. Anyways, that's how you're going to get those rulers and guides. And so if I wanted to, I can go ahead and mark the midpoint on the page here, so that I know where I want everything. For this design that I did, pretty much the text was all kind of right under that midpoint there. And then I had some just like, floral flourishes at the top. And you can do this any way that you want. This also works great for a round ornament too. I showed it on a heart, but you could do it again for a round ornament. But what I could do if I even wanted to show you for a round, I could go up to Elements. I could search like a circle outline. it'll pull up different circle outlines, and I can just pick, you know, any outline I want and go ahead and pull this up so that it's the whole page. And that'll kind of give you an idea there of where you want your design to fall. For the heart, you know, obviously there's going to be a little cutout here around the top of the heart, and it's going to be a little bit more narrow down towards the bottom. But if you keep it all pretty much in here, it'll look pretty good. So I wanted to keep it simple. Simple does sell. And so first thing we're going to do is just pull up a text box, and all you're going to do is pick 2 placeholder names. So it really doesn't matter what names you pick, because this is what people who buy, they're going to give you the names that they want. So really, whatever 2 names you want, I go with like sort of mid-sized names, so nothing too long, nothing too short. And then obviously, if they give you a bunch of long names, you're gonna have to shrink the text down. If they give you a couple short names, you might have to blow the text up, you know, to make it fit. But I went ahead and I went with Katie, and I did the little and symbol, which I spelled wrong. Hold on. Katie, and I think I did Ryan. And when I designed this, my 2 friends, Katie and Ryan, were getting married, so it was also a wedding gift for them. But there is Katie and Ryan is going to go there. And then I pull up another text box, and then this one was going to say married. And that went here. And then I had one more text box, and this was going to be the date. And of course, they're going to give you the date. So the date is just a placeholder. So you can pick any date you wanted to. I think I went with maybe like 07 points. And of course, you can do the dates however you want. I think the little decimal point looks good, but you can do slashes or dashes, or, you know, however it works for you. You could also write it out. But I liked just the little points. So I'm just going to pick 22. Let's go with 25. And so let's say that that is our married date right there. So it's something like this. That's where the text is going to be. And then a little flourish, like heart-shaped flourishes are around the top there. So we're going to pick some fonts, and then I'm going to do something a little bit special with the married. Now, again, you can pick any font you want. I wanted this to look a little bit more formal because it's a wedding ornament. So it's not going to be, you know, something that's like, so it's not going to be something that's more like kiddish or grunge or anything like that. You want it to be a nice formal font for this. But beyond that, you can kind of pick whatever font you want. And I'll usually spend quite a bit of time looking through the fonts to find the font that I like. Really, the font for me is what kind of makes or breaks the design. So I may spend most of my time with the design just looking through different fonts to pick the one that I really want. And of course, once you've kind of selected the fonts you want and you have a combination of things that you enjoy, then if you make future listings, you can use that same font combination, and so it makes it a little bit easier. The one that I went with for the Katie and Ryan was a Cyrillic. It was Cyrillic Bodoni, this one. And so I went with that. It gave it a nice, clean look, really liked it. I'm going to skip married for now. When I go down to the date here, again, I was looking for a nice formal looking font. And for this one, I went with another one that I like that's nice and simple, and it's actually called Alike. So I went with Alike. And so both of those fonts I really liked. And then for married, what I was hoping to do would be something that's a little bit more scripty. And I was going to add sort of the font glyphs to the ends. Now, font glyphs are something that you can do if you have Creative Fabrica. And so that is what I use to do the font glyphs. And I'll show you exactly how I do that. You do need to have, I guess it would be like the pro version of the subscription to Creative Fabrica to do it, but Creative Fabrica is super cheap. And so it's been worth it to me to just go ahead and buy like the year's, a year worth. Because when I renew it, it's only like $4 a month or something really cheap for me to keep it. So anyways, for font glyphs, first we're going to go ahead and select the font. Now, usually it'll be a font that I download off of Creative Fabrica. So I can search through Creative Fabrica to find the font that I want. I've already done that and uploaded it here. And by the way, when you upload a font here, it's really easy to do. You would just go to the bottom here where it says upload a font, click that, and you can upload any font you want off of Creative Fabrica. So that's super easy. The one that I picked here was one called Haley. oops, with an EY, Haley regular. And so that is the one I picked there. I really liked the way that that looked. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the glyphs. So I'm going to jump over to Creative Fabrica and show you guys how to do this. It's super easy once you know how. So here I'm jumped over Creative Fabrica. I'm all logged in. And again, you can see right here, special deal, add 1 year extra for only $4 a month. So that's pretty cheap. I mean, $4 a month can't really beat that. And of course, they do have a bunch of freebies too. So if you haven't been on Creative Fabrica, there's tons. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of free fonts, free graphics, free all sorts of stuff you can get. But if you have the kind of the paid version or the subscription, then you get access to some of their tools, including Font Cloud and Shape Cloud, and then obviously all the premium graphics and fonts as well. But if you were to go to Tools right here at the top, and you go down to where it says Font Cloud, you'd go ahead and select that one. And it's going to pull up something like this, and you'll go ahead and just hit Open Font Cloud. And now I already have a lot of fonts uploaded to this. If you haven't used it before, you're going to upload the font that you want to use over here at the side. So you can just hit Browse, and it'll pull up your downloads, and you can upload the font. So you would start on Creative Fabrica, pick the font you want and download it, and then you would upload it to the Font Cloud, and you would upload it to Canva. And so I've already got this one uploaded, and so it was Haley. So all I have to do is find the one that I wanted. So there's Haley. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you all of the characters, including the font glyphs. And so that's really important. So once I have it up, I can go ahead, oops, and just start scrolling down. And it's going to have all the basic characters, caps, lowercase. But then what you're going to see is some of the more decorative things. And so this one specifically has the little glyphs that go off to the side for like the beginning and ends of letters. And so I really liked that. So for married, what I wanted to do was get the little glyph for the M, right, which would be right here. And so it's just got that little extra glyph there. All you do is click on that. It's going to copy it to your clipboard. So you literally just click on it, and then you'll go right back over to Canva. And then all I'm going to do is highlight the M, and then I'm going to replace it with the glyph. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Control V. That will paste the glyph on. And now you can see I've added that glyph to the M. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the D. So I'll go right back over to my Creative Fabrica Font Cloud. And now I'm going to find the D, and I want the little trailing line for the D. So here it is. I click on it. It just automatically copies it to a clipboard. I go right back over to Canva. I'm going to highlight that D. Hit Control V. That'll paste it. And now I've got my glyphs. So just like that. And so if I was to go ahead, jump back over really quick to Creative Fabrica. Let's see if I can get back. If I'm on Creative Fabrica here and I just wanted to go to fonts, I mean, right now I'm on Print on Demand, and I can look at all the Print on Demand fonts. There's over 226,000 fonts. So I can click that. And so you can see how a lot of these fonts are decorative. Like, for example, you see like the glyphs on these. These are the glyphs that you can get by using the Font Cloud. So here's another one. So this Cupcake Handmade, it also has like the leading and trailing glyphs. That one here, I Love You, has some leading and trailing glyphs, along with, just some other, like the ones that have like little hearts, or the ones that have all of these little like squiggles. Those are all extra font glyphs that you can get by using the Font Cloud. So all you would do if you wanted one of these, so let's just pick a fun one. Let's say I wanted Sparkles and Brights. I can click on this, and then all I would do would be to download the font. And so it's going to download that font. So now if I want to upload it to Canva, I would go right back over to my Canva, and I could just go ahead and go up to where fonts are. And when I come down to the bottom where it says upload a font, I can click on that, and it's going to pull up different fonts. Now, right now, this one's not coming up. It's probably in a zip file. So hold on, let me unzip it first. Let me cancel this. I'm going to go to my download. So it's in a little zip file. I'm just going to open the zip file and then drag and drop just it right into the downloads. And we'll just try this again. So I'm going to go back, hit upload a font. There it is. And this time it showed up Sparkle Bright and open. And it's going to ask to know that you have the right to use it. I'm going to put yes, upload away. It will upload it, and now you can use it. So it's just going to add it to your fonts here. So you'll see it here under uploaded fonts. So as you scroll down, all of your uploaded fonts are at the top. And as you can see, I have uploaded hundreds of fonts from Creative Fabrica. A lot of them, by the way, were free. So I uploaded a lot of these just from free fonts. And so you can do that. And then if I was to go back over here, it's sparkles and bright. Now, if I wanted to go to tools, oops, and I wanted to go to my font cloud, open font cloud, I could hit browse down here, pick sparkle and bright, open it, and it's going to add it onto my font cloud. And then I can just find it. So I can, scroll down and find it somewhere. There it is. It took a second to upload. So here it is, Sparkle and Bright 1. And it is going to show you all of the characters, including all of the different glyphs that you could use. So as I scroll down, I'm going to get all those lots of characters. This one has a bunch of characters. And you can see just sort of some decorative different types of T's. This one has a bunch, different W's, different Y's, different squiggles for a bunch of the different letters. And so lots of these glyphs that you could use. So if you wanted to use any of these, you would just click on it and then copy and paste it the way I showed you for the other one. And so this one's got tons of different glyphs. This was a very decorative one. And so that's how you go ahead and get those glyphs that you see. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to Creative Fabrica because I am not Creative Fabrica, sorry, Canva. So I'm back at my design here. So far, so good. I really like the way that this is looking. I like the way that it is spaced so far. Now I want to get a little like some sort of a floral design. So I was making this really simple. What I did was just some sort of like watercolor style floral leaves, but you can do pretty much anything you want just to kind of give it a little bit of a flourish here. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to start searching. So maybe like watercolor leaves and see what comes up. I can go to graphics and you can already see there's lots of different leaves that you can pick. And of course you don't have to do leaves. You can do anything you want, but any of these I could take, flip, and all I did was kind of just have them sort of randomly coming down in a way like that. That was just sort of decorative. And so let's see, the ones I had, I can go back to my original listing too, but they were pretty simple. They were something like that. I don't know if I'll find the exact ones that I used in my example. And here's some other ones. These ones have like a little gold swirly to them. I don't necessarily like that gold. I can go see all, by the way, if I find a style that I like and just look at some of the other ones in that style. Scroll down. Here's ones that, sort of have a flower on it. And I can just sort of overlap them, something like this. And so that's all I really did was just find a couple different leaf patterns that I liked and overlapped them. And that was pretty simple there. So you might play with it a while to kind of find what you think looks best. And so take your time and just play with it. But that's really all I did in the example that I showed you was I found a couple that I thought looked good, kind of overlapped them, put them at the top like that. And that's really what I got. Again, I don't know if I'm going to find the exact ones that I used, but there's tons. You have to look. And so those are all really pretty ones too. So anyways, I showed you with this. I'm just going to use it as an example here. It's not the best, but you can kind of see how it works. I'm going to move the circle out of the way too. And so what I had was something sort of along the lines of this. Maybe even spread out a little bit more or angled a little bit more, or maybe a little bit bigger on this one, doesn't matter. So let's say that I did something along those lines there. all I did was I would just go ahead, title this here. I'll put Katie and Ryan. And we'll just go ahead and download it. And it's going to have a transparent background. So I'm going to hit download, transparent background. It's a PNG, and I hit download. Now, by the way, when the custom order comes through, let's say somebody buys this and they give you the custom name and everything, all I would do would be to come back to this page. I'd go ahead and go up to duplicate, and then I would just change the name. So let's say the next name was, highlight this. If the next name was like Kelly and Vinny, and let's say Vinny, and that's all I would do is I would just go ahead and change the name. I would change the date. So maybe the date became 11 to whatever. We'll stick with 25. Let's say it was 11.02.25. There, I've changed the date. And so now I have the new one, and I would download it the same way. So that's how I just go about, and I just keep saving it. So I would just keep making copies for all of the custom orders that I get. And so that's how I fulfill them. So now I'm going to jump right back over to PrintKK, where the ornament is. And so from here, we're just going to hit start designing. Now it pulls up everything that I've saved on here. So I got a bunch of things saved, but I would go ahead and just hit upload, and I would upload what I just downloaded. So the Katie and Ryan one. Once it's uploaded, you can just click it and it'll pull it right up here. And so we can already see how that fits. And so it's going to give you what it's going to look like over here on the right. And so it looks pretty good. What I might do is actually move it up in the page just a little bit. And that's going to give me just a little bit more space. And actually, I like the way that that looks right there. That looks pretty good. But you can always play with the sizing too. So I could shrink it down if I wanted it to be smaller, and do it something like that. And I can use, tools over here to obviously cover the design, width, height, mark it. I want to center it. I just hit centered right there, and I can do that. And so you can sort of see how you can play with the different sizes. I actually think it looked a lot better, bigger and higher up. So something more here-ish. I think it looked pretty good. And so you can see how that looks there. And once you have it the way you want it, all you do is go ahead and hit save. And that's going to save it to your designs. From there, you could go hit My Designs, and then you will find it in your designs, and you can publish it to your shop that way. And so really easy to do. And then all the information about the listing, I just do on Etsy. So once I get over to Etsy, I just go ahead. It'll be saved into your draft section. So it won't be, so when you go to your listings, it's going to be in the draft section. And so you can open up the listing there. And from there, you can go ahead, if you want to retitle it, add in your tags, add in the spot for personalization. Obviously pick your section, it's an ornament, and then, fill out any attributes that you want to add, including things like, it's ceramic, so what material it's made out of. PrintKK will automatically, give you a description. All the third-party print companies will give you some sort of a description. I'll usually go through and maybe edit those a little bit, either add something to them or change any spelling errors, because occasionally they're not right, so you always do want to read them carefully. But otherwise, that's how you do it. It's pretty simple. And so again, I showed you on an ornament. I showed you on a heart ornament, but you could make a circle ornament. You could make pretty much anything that you wanted using the same basic idea of a married, custom wedding gift. And these do sell year round, so not just around Christmas, because it is a wedding gift. Obviously, people get married year round, and so it's always a good one. It's nice and simple, and it's very Etsy friendly. So this is an easy one to do. If you have questions about this, drop it in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you have video requests, you can throw those in the comment section below too. If you're brand new to print on demand and you're looking for a guide to help you get started, I do have a print on demand beginner's guide that I sell on Etsy. It is a downloadable PDF with clickable links, and it includes 4 videos specifically on how to set up an Etsy shop from scratch. So if you're interested in that, I have a link to it in the description below this video, and I'll pin it to the comments section too. And otherwise, because you guys were so patient, you did wait until the end of the video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. So without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. Okay, so these are Oktoberfest niches. I already did some Oktoberfest niches, but here are some more, as that is coming up late in September. So number 1, I like big mugs and I cannot lie. Number 2, 0% German, 100% drunk. Number 3, let's get snitchel-faced. Tongue twister. Number 4, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. And number 5, German drinking team. And so these are just some fun ones. They work great for t-shirts specifically, but great for Oktoberfest. And again, that is coming up towards the end of September. So you do want to start getting those up if you haven't already. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing really well with your sales. I hope you're continuing to learn new skills, expand your portfolio, and of course, I do hope to see you guys again next week. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.